Hello, everyone, and a very warm good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to the Season of Agents, a virtual event dedicated to exploring the dynamic world of intelligent agents, automation, and the power and future of AI powered productivity. Today, I have joined by Deeksha ma'am, who is a Microsoft certified trainer, and handing over the session to ma'am. You may continue with your session.
Thank you, Sudhanshu. Thank you for inviting over here and give me opportunity to share my thoughts on this. Hello everyone, and welcome to the session on agenting AI with DevOps. Here we are going to explore few key things. What are the DevOps and how agentic AI is playing a key role over here. So we'll understand a few things, and you might be also using a few things, but we don't know okay how it's going to be work. So that also some real time examples that I have come up that we are going to discuss in this session. Here I am myself, Deeksha Sharma. Although Sudhanshu has introduced already, I'm Microsoft certified trainer and Google authorized instructor. I used to deliver the training on the data and AI side. This is about me. Apart from that, if you'll start with the topic here, we'll talk about what are DevOps, what is the difference between the generative AI and the agentic AI, how the CI/CD is going to be work, and with the help of the SDLC model, these component that we have available that will enhance your deliverables and all those things will be discussing over here. So first of all, the very first thing which we have is the DevOps. So right now you can see in the market there are so many jobs opportunities are available with related to DevOps. Okay. So we know that okay there are conceptual things you might have heard of or maybe you have worked on or maybe you know the process that okay how the things are moving, but in depth we don't know how the things or maybe those dots are connected with each other. Right? So inside this DevOps, like let's take an example of any project on that you are working. Okay, it could be related to building a website you are building, related to any AI model you are building, or you are doing some ETL operation, anything. So first of all, here for one environment, like let's say if any developer who is going to be work for one environment, he is going to do set up everything for you. Like let's say they have set up a virtual machine and everything, but generally as a developer we used to maintain a different phases or different environments that are available, and with the help of that here your DevOps comes in the picture. Okay, and like let's say here if I use a pen to explain the same thing. Let's say here we are basically going to use a certain languages. We are going to use a certain environment on those things. So first of all, you have a dedicated environment. Now, environment means basically we used to create a different environment where we can set it up all the configuration. Like let's say we have first of all is the development environment. So in the development environment, all the developer has the complete access. They are going to do write down and setting up all the services, everything they are going to do at their end. And like let's say any particular scripts or maybe particular installation is needed. Like let's say they are going to be set up the Python specific 3.7 version, okay, or they want Ansible, some other tools available required, or Git. So whatever configurations you have done in the development, you have as a developer you have a complete privilege where you can do all the jobs end to end. But here basically you are not going to get the real time workload to be handled. Means your client will not consume the data from the development itself. What they are going to do is there is a dedicated another environment that we refer. So environment is not like a physical thing, it's like a logically will be setting up the entire infrastructure separately. Generally we used to maintain uh, three different type of environment: development, testing or QA you can say, or non-prod, any name you can see in your organization, QA or test. So this is, and the last one you have is the production. So production environment is basically where we are going to receive or where we are going to get the real time workload. Like let's say if you are launching any websites live on the Google, so in that case it is accessible by the end user or end client. Anybody can go sign up and start using it. So that is currently in the production. So you are not going to touch directly the production environment, uh, like whatever is live over there. Instead of that, you are going to only do the things which is in the development area. So production is basically a live mode where it is available for end user. So generally we used to make sure that okay, your production environment will be unimpacted, like anything happen then it is going to be always available where user can come up and start using it. And the non-prod is exactly same like a production, but why it's going to maintain separately? Because if in such scenario, like let's say there are some service connections or some security has been set up under the networking over here. Okay, so here as a developer when you are going to work you have a more privileges. Okay, you can create, manage, update, delete the services, so you have more privileges in the development. But in production you don't have that much privileges where you can create the services, delete and do things, because you are just simply using the DevOps over here for migration. So here you have a more privileges to perform all the operations. Okay, but here in the production you have a minimum privileges. Privileges means you can't directly go ahead and create a service in production, no, because it's a live mode which is going to impact your end client. So that's why here whatever you have built over here, let's figure it out, it's working fine in the development. Then in that case, how should I test directly in the production environment? So we will create a same replica of your production environment, that is your non-prod or QA environment, where we'll do the testing. That okay, if my like a current setup will go live in production, how it's going to be act. Like similar way, any like space, like anybody is going to space, they will get a same gravity test over here. They have in-house zero gravity station available where they will test how they can survive while going in the space. Similar way here in the production, you have a least privileges, more security, more network constraint. So in this case here, you have basically non-prod, which is basically the replication of the production with the same level of privilege, but it is not available for end user. And then you have a more like whatever development anything you need to do, you need to do it from development. Like let's say I need to plan it out something for doing the deployment configuration, I'll be starting in the development, then from development I'll be moving into non-prod, and then from there I'll be moving into production. Okay, so here we have a, like a complete end-to-end flow we used to maintain. Now how it's going to be happen with the help of your DevOps. Okay, now here your DevOps comes in the picture with the help of this one, where whatever configuration we have done, it is going to be taken care, because whatever configuration I have done, whatever setup I have done in the development, I am not going to do it again manually in the non-prod or in prod. Instead of that, with the help of DevOps, we'll be doing the automation over here. Okay, with the help of DevOps we'll be doing the automation, where once the development task is done, it is going to test it out in the non-prod and then it will move into the production. So with the help of DevOps, it's basically entire process who is going to make the automation for you. So same thing if you see over here is which we are discussing. So DevOps is a union of the people. Why? Because here do have a different teams are involved who are work. Some are working in the development environment, some are working in the non-prod, some are working in the production, some are working with the different Python script. Some of them are working into the like a scripting side. Some are on the infra setup, platform configuration. So it's basically union of people, process, and product to enable the continuous delivery. So, like in the SDLC, we do have some stages available, like plan, code, build, test. So the entire process are going to be followed over here. You can see first stage you have is the plan, where in the planning phase. Okay. So first stage you have is the plan, where in the planning phase you are going to start and then deploy in the. You will write down the code over here. Okay, and then you are going to build. Okay, then you are going to start the DevOps process, deploy and operate. So that's why it's going to be referred as an infinity loop, where you will be planning, code, build, test, and then you are going to do the deploy and operate and monitor. So again, in the monitoring something failed, again this cycle is going to start, plan, build, code, test, and then it's going to be deploy and operate. So it's kind of a continuous cycle where one after another team are not going to be dependent to each other. They'll start working right after that once the previous task is completed. So DevOps is basically the union of the people, process, and product to enable the continuous delivery. Now, how your agentic AI is going to help? That's what we are going to talk about over here. So DevOps is something help you to do the automation of your work. Like let's say I want to move the entire setup what I have done in the development to test to prod. So in that case, to moving from one environment to another environment every time will not go and deploy manually, right? We have to plan it out that how we can process it automation over here, how we can automate these process. So in that case, here we are going to do the automation with the help of the DevOps. But I want to make it more usable where I don't even need to see or correct those testing use cases also. Okay, so we have a AI or the agentic AI option coming up. But before jumping into the agentic AI, there are two type of AI models that is currently is quite demanding that you can see. First is the generative AI and the second is the agentic AI. Generative AI right now we see in the market it's pretty much moving around where you can see that okay, whoever basically using this chat gpt or mid journey dali, okay, so multiple tools you have available that you can use it, and with the help of that simply you are going to build an generative AI where you need to send a prompt and you will get a response with that. So it's basically a type of AI where whenever you are going to give any prompt, okay, let's say I have given a prompt that okay, draw red who is landing on moon. So this image itself is not exist, but as per the like a feature of this generative AI, it's going to generate those image and then it will provide you a data, right? So generative AI is basically generating or creating new content or generating a new content as per your prompt, whatever input you are sharing, and then with the help of that you are going to give the output of those newly generated content. It could be any images. You can generate an image. You can generate any text. Like let's say build like my resume I have not created, for example. So in that case, build a profile for a trainer. So in that case, they will generate the entire profile for you. Okay, or maybe I'll ask that okay, build a PPT for agentic case. In that case, they'll build an entire PPT. Okay, so they need text, image, music. Right now, also you can see there are multiple music AI also available. You can give the prompt like I want to listen a rap on a particular topic, or maybe design a song on a particular location. So in that case, you can simply give a prompt and it's going to generate a music with the lyrics. Okay, where you don't need to worry about the music composing and losing. It's going to take care by themselves. That they whatever suitable music will go with that. So you can simply generate a text, image, music based on the different patterns or based on the training you have done with your generative AI model. Because when I'm going to launch that generative AI model, obviously I need to first train my AI model with reference to different aspects. Okay, it could be with respect to generating data, giving you a response. Okay, as per the prompt, what are the things it need to keep consider, all those things. So generative AI is basically generating data which even not exist. Okay, but it is going to create some new data in the form of the text, images and music. And most of us mostly are using, like you can see right now, this ghibli images we have created, right? So it's even not exist, but we have given a prompt that okay, convert my photo in a ghibli, and then we are getting that ghibli images, right? So in that case it's just like as per your prompt itself, it's just converting into that particular area that comes under the generative AI. Then next you have is the agentic AI. So agentic AI is not like here you can see in the generative AI you are just giving the prompt and then with reference to that you are getting the output. But let's say I want to see that okay, this particular prompt which I have given, as per that the output which I am getting, it's correct or not. Okay, so here basically generative AI we can't go with the decision making process. We can't make any decision that okay how it's going to be. We can't take any decision with reference to generative AI, Gen AI images, right? So here basically agentic AI is going to act as an agent, okay, who is going to help you to take the decision. Now decision as in like okay, let's say here what will be the like let's say you are driving a car, okay, so you can consider like Tesla, which is giving AI inbuilt AI cars. So here we got like a driverless vehicle, you can get it over there as per the like coming traffic okay, distance from the previous vehicle and the speed limit and everything, your agentic AI automatically let decide that okay, speed like the speeds need to increase, decrease, brake need to apply and those things. So driverless vehicle is only going to be work on the agentic AI concept only, where it's going to take the decision also by himself. Generative AI will not help you to take the decision, but with the help of agentic AI, it's going to help you to take the decision. Okay, where intelligent decisions is going to taken based on the whatever training you have delivered earlier. Like if you are going to link with your DevOps over here, so in the DevOps, we understand that okay, you will we have a certain automation you can achieve it. Okay, and then you do have a different stages available over here. So here basically with the help of this generative AI and the agentic AI which we have, you can identify that okay, what are the like let's say if my I write it down some code, and at that during the time of deployment it got failed. Okay, and this is some common error which used to occur every time, like let's say due to some concurrent run or due to some parallel job it got failed. So in that case here we know that okay, the alternate time or something we have some workaround available to be run. So those some commonly arrived error when we are getting while running the flow. So in that case you can train your agentic AI model itself that okay, if these type of errors occur, then it will automatically take the decision. So to like helping on those errors, like reducing the dependency and all those things, here basically agentic AI is going to help. Okay, like let's say in the build once it's get failed, the agentic AI will understand or analyze the error, and with reference to that, it is going to give you the output. Okay, and then it will take the next decision. Okay, like okay, this is not working, so this is the fixes of this error. So accordingly, let's go ahead and then implement that, and then again test it out that okay, the deployment is successfully completed or not. Again, it's failing, then do the changes, and then figure it out. Right. So it will auto understand to troubleshoot that error, and then it will give you the output with reference to that. So that is one thing which we have in the agentic AI side. Now, if you see here in the DevOps, as we talk about, we do have a different processes comes up. After these processes, you can simply integrate, okay, these agentic AI model. You want, you can build your own agentic AI also model. There are multiple tools are available like all AI and those things. With that, you can build your own agentic AI also, right? So here basically with the generative AI and agentic AI are different, but you can also use these together. Okay, it's not like if I'm going with the generative AI, agentic AI I can't use, and if I'm going with the agentic AI, then generative AI I can't use. Here, basically, let's say if I'm going to like the first example which has been given, if I'm going to use for advertising and the marketing purpose, right? So here your agentic AI is going to decide that okay, this ad is going to relevant for whom. Okay, like whoever search similar kind of thing. Okay, what is our target audience and everything. So with the help of agentic AI we should be able to reach the target audience, and with the help of generative AI it's going to basically create the ad content based on the customer. Like let's say I created a post, okay, for a Azure cloud, or maybe for a security or cyber security thing. But I'm going, the major challenge is okay, who is going to attend, or maybe who is going to see that poster, or maybe let's say I'm organizing a webinar. So in that case, who is the right audience to see that webinar? Obviously the college student or the working professional who are interested into these domain, right? So when we are going to run the ad, here your agentic AI is going to help to understand that okay, these are the target audience, and it will showcase your ads or your forms or your webinar, these things on the uh, your model, as per your model itself, to the target audience. So we'll get a more reach over there, first of all, on top of your content. Second thing over here is with the help of this content, here your customer is also going to like whatever type of like similar kind of content or similar type of webinars or banners if they are liking. So in that case we also get an understanding that okay, we are able to target more audience. So that's why here we are going to focus these type of customers, okay, or these type of candidate. So in that case here you can use generative AI to building those social media posts, okay, or creating the content, writing the blog, generating the content for that, Okay, so you can use the generative AI for creating the ad, okay, and writing down the content, writing the blogs, or like doing certain operations with the help of generative AI. But with the help of agentic AI, reach out, like provide those content to correct audience, reach out to the correct audience, okay, that we can refer with the help of the agentic AI plus generative AI together we are going to use. Okay. Second is basically the customer support chatbot. So basically, let's say if your customer asks any not a like a direct question, indirect question it has like ask. So your agentic AI is going to automatically ask you what to do, and then generative AI will give a smart answer. Okay, because now here your agentic AI is basically giving or pointing out to that particular decision like taking decision on those certain use cases, right? So if customer has asked some indirect questions, so with the help of agentic AI we should be able to understand that, okay, what need to be delivered, okay, and then also generative AI will generate the smart and personalized response with reference to the like a customer need. So these are some example where you can use the generative AI and agentic AI together, and then you can also increase the capabilities of your basically deliverables. So that is about the DevOps and this thing. Okay. So now if we talk about the DevOps, so first of all we understand what is the DevOps. Second is we understand what is the generative AI, and third we understand what is the agentic AI. So here, okay, with the help of agentic AI, as you understand, it will automatically take a decision as per the pre-trained model. Generative AI will generate the content. Okay. Now how we can use this with the help of DevOps? So your DevOps is going to come up with the like automation process by itself. Like calling one service after another once the previous process is done, then in that case you can simply integrate with the DevOps. So it will understand the cycle. Also, it's going to be data informed, and it will strive for validated learning, and it will shorten your cycle time. Like initially I was taking like a long time from dev to prod, like 6 months, then now here you can see as we are doing the automation it will be delivered within a month. Okay, so I'm just taking some random figure over here, and then we can do the automation. Then you can simply do the optimization also with the help of the validation. So let's say here in each cycle we do have a certain okay, let's say in each cycle we do have a certain outcome we are getting. Okay, like it could be a positive, it could be neutral, it could be good. So in that case here automatically it is going to consider, and then it will move one after another. Okay, so respective decisions could be taken care. So in the DevOps itself, you do have a CI, that is continuous integration, CD, that is continuous delivery, then version control, okay, agile, and then monitoring solutions. You can use it cloud, like you can use with the Azure, AWS, GCP, or IAC infrastructure. The code you can go with the ARM template or Terraform, which is also quite popular. Microservices like Kubernetes, Docker, containers. Okay, so initially to understand the whole process, that's why it's going to take some time. So generally with the CI/CD, when you're going to start, you have all the stages available, so accordingly it will check, right? So here if you see, if I'm going to identify that, okay, let's say I have a different teams are available, and I want to understand that when we are going with the DevOps, either like you need to have a dedicated DevOps engineer should be part of your team, and they should be understand the whole process. Okay, and they are familiar with the environment and everything. But when we are going with the agentic AI, here you can overcome those challenges. It's going to focus on completely on the transformation. If there are some small input required in these things, the agentic AI will take the decision. Okay, and then it's going to be like integrate different services also, where also no human effort directly needed. So here, so why DevOps is important? First of all, so DevOps is pretty much important because as I mentioned, as I draw that diagram, so from one to one, moving from one environment to another environment, the automation should be there, right? We can't go and set up every time the IAC infrastructure. Okay, we can't go directly and set up the platform initially for dev, then test, and then prod. Instead of that, what we can do is we can do the automation with the help of the DevOps. Okay, so it's basically software deployment and operational approach where any new product or any new maintenance come up, that should be also planned. Let's say like we have an older version of a website, and when we are recreating those website, so in that case here, with the help of DevOps, we can automate also those process. Okay, and also you can optimize the entire business. It would be more adaptive, okay, and data driven. Also, with the help of this DevOps, you can simply collaborate with the different team. You can simply collaborate with the work, and as well as you should be able to like communicate. Sorry, you should be able to communicate between different services, different team directly, without any dependencies. So this is the DevOps flow which we have, and as I mentioned, we do have a different stages are available. First of all, you do have a plan stage available. I'll use a pen. Okay. Yeah. So these are the different stages you have in the DevOps, where you can see for initial phase plan, we have where you are going to create the SRS, you will be writing down the code and everything. Means building the layout, not a code. Building the layout over here will be considering. So here in the planning phase, where you have very initial stage and you have like the criteria and those thing has been decided, where your client also agrees. So planning phase is the very initial phase before starting the project. Then code. So in the code phase, where basically we'll maintain the different data uh, in the form of code whatever you have written. Like for example, if you are hosting any virtual machine on Azure, so you can integrate with the Git. Okay, Git is the place where you have to maintain your code, and then we have a different versions also going to maintain inside Git. Then you have a build phase. Build phase is basically going to take care by Marvin and Grid. Then you have testing phase. In the testing phase, we are going to test it out whatever code has been developed. It is following all the best practices and there is no downtime and there is no failure. And then so this is going to be your dev process. Okay. Now similar way you have operations process. First of all, you have to do the deployment. For that, we have Azure DevOps pipelines are available. Then you have Ansible. Ansible is basically for operational or the deployment purpose, which basically, like let's say if you have some services that has been configured once and then you want to reuse it multiple time and the environment need to set up. So Docker is coming up compared to lightweight compared to your virtual machine. So here you can simply utilize for deploying operation things. Similar way you have Docker and Kubernetes also that we are going to use it for doing the automation under the microservice. Then for monitoring we have Nagios only. Okay, and then you can simply integrate this with the help of Jenkins. Jenkins is going to act like as a heart of your DevOps, where you can see it's going to be available in between both the circle, right? So here we have this DevOps end-to-end flow available. Now here you can see one after another. We do have like a dedicated phases available, and that is going to be integrated with the servers and those things. So here in the DevOps, what we are going to use it. Let's say my code got fail over here, okay, in the building or in the testing. Okay, so like let's say my code got failed over here, then in that case I don't need to go and move to the ops stage itself. Okay, if my code got failed in the development, then I'm going to continue with this development phase only, right? So after every step, we can simply integrate those agentic AI model, which we can like customize it as per our use case, and then once it's tested out everything good, then we are good to move. But now let's say in the deployment it's get failed. In that case, also it's going to be get started. Okay, let's say your deployment got failed, then still it's going to reach out back to sharing the monitoring plan with your planning phase. Okay, then again code changes what has been come up, and then after that building and testing the model. So here with the help of DevOps, we should be able to reach out, or we should be able to see the automation of the process, and if you are integrating with the agentic AI. So after every step, okay, simply we can introduce the agentic AI, and then it's going to auto detect the failure, auto detect the file, okay, and also it's going to like what say use these different agentic AI model you can integrate it with this, right? So that is a one thing. Similar way, these are some common DevOps goal which we have, which is a combination of DevOps development, that is dev, and ops is basically operations. Okay, and then here it is going to create, right? So these are some advantage which you have for DevOps, where you can do the deployment operations thing, and then also you can use it together. And then your what you can say, you can follow the SDLC agile methods, okay, and all those things over here. Now here is also one more example. Like agile is basically work in the smaller time frame, but your like let's say you have started building some websites. In that case, your customer has explained these other things need to be developed. So your developer has started and building those things, which is fine. Okay, so your developer has built those things, and then it has been handed over to operations. But let's say here you are following the agile methodology. Then the agile methodology already developer and the customer both are communicating with each other, right? Because they are getting the command. Accordingly, your operations teams are going to be deployed. But there is no direct code changes has been done, and the code has not been communicated to the operations team. So here, when you are using the agile plus DevOps together, it's going to help you to interact with the client as well as to interact with the IT infrastructure thing. Okay, so it'll be there. And here, like let's say if you have a multiple developer available and multiple requests are coming up, so in that case each time, like what, like generally in the sprint you have a sprint calls, and those things setting expectations are there. So in the sprint itself you can basically understand what is the client requirement, is there a new change or something, and then you can share it with the operations guy. So we both are going to be sync with each other over here, right? So that is basically we have, and I guess we are good here. With the help of this, I'll take a pause, and we will be seeing here. We have talked about what is DevOps, what is Agile, how DevOps is helping organization to integrate with Agile and Agentic AI. What is Agentic AI? What is generative AI? Difference between both, and how you can integrate the Agentic AI with the DevOps. So in that case, you can do the automation and also doing the fixes if anything is going to be failed. Okay, and then with the help of this end-to-end process, first of all what we are going to be covering is, let's say I am working full-fledged DevOps engineer, then at the end of this we should be able to reduce the manual effort, and then we should be able to do the automation of the process, where if any failures occur, anything happen, then also it's going to be taken care through the agentic AI, because agentic AI is coming up with the capability itself for taking the decision by its own. Okay, so I'm taking a pause over here. So thank you for joining the session. But if any question, I am happy to answer over here. If you have any question.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for an insightful session, and thanks to all the attendees and viewers who joined us for this season of Agents session. It's your time to discover, build, and shape the future together. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.